Hello! Hello. And hello. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm not alone,
Oh.
see? Right, if all went well, you shouldn't have heard us talking for the last 5 minutes. If you did, I mean, there was no sensitive information leaked. It was just talking about Maroon 5. But
I mean, we didn't actually talk about Maroon 5. We talked about definitely Maroon 5.
definitely Maroon 5. We're back, we're doing doodles. Doodle times, and I think today we're doing a random character generator.
Yes.
Which is an idea we've been floating around for a while, but we waited until Chibi got the ability to actually draw properly. What with laptops breaking and stuff. It's very
Technology.
technology. It's so rude. This is what iRobot warned us about.
Definitely this.
Absolutely. So we have a wonderful array of cats, none of which are monstrosities.
A lot of cats and the Eye of Sauron, and definitely Maroon 5.
Definitely Maroon 5.
The person Maroon 5.
The person Maroon 5.
No, as a cat, they just slick their ears back.
And stuff their tail on their pant leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make a lot of trousers specifically for cats. It's annoying. Yeah. How are we gonna do this?
I don't know. We didn't think this through.
No. So we
need a rotor.
we have a character generator. Here it is. And we can randomly generate an appearance of a character with several options here. Gender, type, which is a bit strange, and whether the description is simple or detailed. Yeah, and we'll see where we can go from there. Probably.
Yeah. Cool.
Who would like to draw first?
I can draw.
You can draw.
Yeah, well, that's all for the
No,
but yeah.
we know you can draw. We're doing this for several months. There's plenty of evidence that you can draw, and well.
Yeah.
Aw.
You can draw if you want to. You can leave it. No.
Safety draw.
Now let's see if the layers doesn't hate me today.
Hey, look at that. We still have this mysterious anonymous person with their own layer. Well, I can steal that, so.
Probably me.
Okay, where's the
I'm always
writer?
logged out when I click the link.
Okay, I have a rotor, so we might as well use that. It's been a while since we used one, I think. Sure.
It's the right rotor. Will it work?
I really need to sneeze and it's not coming out. Okay. Chibi, do you want to generate a character for Christi to draw?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know what we're going with of type. What kind of type do you want?
It's a jazz one with different challenges, right?
Well, we
That's
got
the issue.
No, we've got the website one, RanGen.
Oh, okay.
But we could use the jazz one. I don't know what that looks like. So.
I'll just use the website.
Yeah.
I'll give you. I don't know what to do for type, so it's just gonna be realistic, I guess.
Oh, like that. Okay, that's fine. Realistic.
Unless you want an anime character or a unique character.
Yeah, it's realistic, exotic, anime, or unique, which is, you know, the 4 genders.
Okay. Then I'll just generate it. Okay. Standing at 5'6" tall and fragile with cream skin, this woman has a depressed feel about her.
Oh.
What a wonderful start.
She has distrustful brown eyes, and her mid-back length straight dark brown hair, is worn in dreadlocks.
Ooh.
Oh no, white woman in dreadlocks.
Depressed white
alive.
woman in dreadlocks.
She usually wears ambiguous clothes that are slightly too small.
So for some reason, I'm immediately thinking of those two characters in The Matrix Reloaded.
Once again, I'm not a character making person, so what I start with drawing makes no sense.
That's okay.
I mean, that's fine. I'm sure some of these descriptions are not going to make much sense anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already confused about the straight hair, but also dreadlocks. It seems a bit
Because
weird.
it's white,
It's-
straight hair made into dreadlocks.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, can you have like? I guess you could braid dreadlocks, then they wouldn't be straight, would they?
See, the thing is, though, for a true dreadlock and not just a mat, basically what it is it's really, really, really tight curls that
Yeah,
are sort of
Right.
bunched together in groups, and that's why it doesn't really work with, for lack of a better word, straight white person hair, because our hair doesn't curl like that. The only way you can get it into a similar clump is if you like essentially break it apart, and so now you've got a bunch of split ends and clump it all together, and it just becomes a bunch of mats. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does not look good, and it is not great for your hair, because your hair doesn't want to do that. You are damaging your hair.
Yeah. I was going to say it's definitely not great for my shower plug. That's basically describes what you have to clean out of there every now and then.
What was the body type?
what?
It said
What
fragile.
was the body type of
remember?
this? Fragile.
Made of porcelain.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make her pointy and thin.
That's fair. Tall and
Would it help?
fragile.
Would it help to copy the description into like the Discord chat
Oh yeah, I'll
That's probably
do
a good
that.
idea.
so it's
That
easier
makes
to look
sense.
at?
Yeah.
There you go. And you can look at
Thank you.
Depressed feel. It's not a nice analysis of someone, is it?
it. No.
Depressed and distrustful. I don't. This person's past has not been exactly jolly.
It was a depressed feel and distrustful eyes. It's just Carlo. It's just your character.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, we'll be playing this character in, in an RPG. He doesn't look depressed, he just looks tired.
I mean, based on what you gave me in life.
I mean, yeah, he's not had an entirely pleasant life, but that's how you set up a character for an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Is he at least able to get clothes that aren't slightly too small for him?
I described them as sort of unkempt, sort of very good shoes.
Yeah, at least the shoes fit
Yeah,
him.
he makes shoes, so he should have good shoes.
Yeah, that's one of those things, at least, that you can, like, it's a thing that can help you. Because there are some things where it's like, I have this skill, but it doesn't help me any. Like, being a really good dentist doesn't. It's not like you could do a lot of dental work on your own teeth beyond just regular maintenance.
Well,
And same with, like, being able to cut hair. Just because you can cut someone else's hair doesn't mean you can cut your own hair. But being able to make your own shoes, that's possible.
That just reminds me of Would I Lie to You? Or Bob Mortimer, the person who basically lives in their own version of reality, admits to doing most of his own dentistry. Somehow.
Good old Bob. Strange man.
Where he takes his son's gamer chair and puts it on top of like the kitchen like island, because the kitchen island has the best lights. Naturally.
Naturally, yeah. If you're Bob Mortimer, of course.
Yeah. It's a gaming chair because it goes like all the way back, like a gaming chair does. And then he does his own dentistry.
Okay, but see, having good lighting doesn't help with trying to look into your own mouth.
No, it doesn't. But I listened to that whole story multiple times, and I still don't know how.
This is Bob Mortimer we're talking about. We will never know how, or even if.
Yeah. I mean, he literally lives in his own version of reality.
Mm.
Sounds like a person I'm happy I don't know who is.
Oh, he's great. It's not like
delightful as far as I know. It's just that if you listen to anything he says, you just go like, what are you talking about?
he's a happy-go-lucky surrealist.
Aw.
Best way I can think to describe him.
Does she
One
look
of those
fragile
people where
enough?
you start hearing about them and it's like, wait a minute, what?
I mean, she looks fragile, yeah.
Yeah.
Does have some good hips though.
Pointy hips.
Pointy hips.
Pointy hips.
It was a sort of conscious decision to go the kind of like if the wide hip and the thin waist sort of looks sort of vase-like. That goes with fragile. You know?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the pointy hips, I always think of like, you're gonna break your hip.
Oh, all right.
See, my first thought when I see someone who's got like obviously the bones for the hips are wide, but then everything else is real skinny is just like eat a burger, fries, something.
Or maybe it's not fragile, but like, you know, if you have wide hips but a narrow torso, you might be sort of a little bit sort of misjudge your own sort of cross section area, and as a consequence, you'll keep knocking things off tops and
No. With your pointy
just
hips.
walking through the kitchen, you accidentally sort of bash your hip against a plate and it smashes on the floor. Ah!
Trying to walk through the kitchen without breaking anything, but my hips are too damn wide.
This is why I'm so depressed.
It's so distrustful of everything around me. Just assume that
Yeah. Not distrustful
everything out is gonna break thanks to my hips.
It's not
I'm
distrustful
mostly
of
wondering
people,
how low your tables and countertops are if your hips are knocking everything over.
particularly if you're 5'6". Yeah. I mean, if you look at the stance that's going on there, there's an awful lot of angle to the hip. It can angle up. So
That's a high angle, though.
you know that's why they decided to grow out dreadlocks as the kind of like buffering around, sort of like a soft impact. If the hips decide to bump into anything, the dreadlocks will be there to just sort of take the impact.
It's a crash pillow.
Oh dear.
It's character design.
Yes.
You didn't think it'd make sense, did you?
I mean, we got something randomly generated, and it possible to generate nonsense. So
I'd also like the ambiguous clothes. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
does that mean like like in terms of sort of ambiguous gender, like sort of unisex sort of thing, or does that mean like are they clothes? Are they bin bags? It's just sort of
It might just be a potato sack.
might be a
Who knows?
potato sack, random offcuts of fabric just sort of dropped on you from a.
I mean, this looks like clothes. Yeah. Guess it's more like ambiguous
Oh.
as in like they're clothes, but who knows who they are for. They do fit her hips down,
Mysterious.
but only barely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make them look too small.
Oh yeah, slightly too small, ambiguous clothes. Does that mean they have to look slightly too small, but also a bit big?
That doesn't sound possible.
I mean, thing is, she has quite a sort of varied shape. Some parts are quite wide, some parts are quite narrow. Unless you get a tailor cut, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Off the shelf clothing is not going to fit you perfectly.
No, like these shorts are already like they're the right like length, but they go barely around the hips.
Yeah.
Ambiguous clothes. Are we going ridiculous 90s top then?
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
also,
is-
those are really low hanging. God,
yeah.
I'm just reminded of all of those like really low hanging pants that just everyone seemed to want to have in like the later half of the 90s, early 2000s. It's like, oh, high fashion to have your pants sag so far you
Yeah.
need to make sure you're shaving. It's like, what the heck? That does not look comfortable.
High fashion, low waistband.
Very low waistband. Like some of those pants, it looks like if you try to sit down, the whole thing would just slide off.
Not from those hips.
Very comfortable. How do I try to store two small shoes?
Your toes have broken through the front.
Okay.
Flip-flops that don't quite fit.
Yeah, flip flops that don't go all the way back.
Yeah, that's probably the easier option, but you know, do what you want.
I know Chris have successfully drawn shoes that's cracked open with the toes out, so I need to prove I can too.
I've done it a surprising
Chris
number
can
of
do it.
times. But usually there's a reason, like, you know, Luna, the sort of werewolf kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
The transformation bursts through with big claws. If you just have normal toes, it's a bit strange.
I mean, listen, it's a lifestyle choice, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you
them,
say
they're
that,
clearly
Chris,
doing this on purpose.
but also you gave Tori normal toes, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he also wears normal shoes, though. So,
yeah. And he has hooves for hands.
he does.
And I will never get over that.
Look, you never know what you're going to get.
Strangest choice to make.
It's the funniest one. That's why.
It
It's so awkward. I love awkward characters.
really sure is awkward with his hooves for hands, normal feet, and like jaw that can open like far too wide.
That was just a doodle. I was sick one day, and I'm like, gonna doodle some strange ideas for characters in October. Come up with some fun comic ideas, and I just thought, whenever I draw Tori's mouth, it's always this tiny mouth on the end of this really long face, and I'm like,
Just dislocate his jaw.
where is the jaw line here? Like, where's the hinge? And that's what got me thinking. Maybe it's all the way back.
He can just dislocate his jaw whenever he wants.
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't need to do it very often.
I mean,
These rules don't want to tool for me.
like, unintentionally, Tori might be the most horrifying character in October and Co.
Aww.
For the sheer sake of
Her gentle soul.
implications, I do love Tori so much. But
Like Tori as a person isn't horrifying. Yes.
no.
So like Tori's biology, however, like his anatomy
Yeah,
is
exactly.
more horrifying than the Cthulhu character.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't
Also,
explored
like,
that.
more like the Cthulhu character's anatomy makes more sense than Tori's,
I think
which is not something that's, you know.
I think the Cthulhu character's anatomy is very similar to Octodad, to be honest. Like
Yeah, that makes sense.
He doesn't have feet. There's just like 3 tentacles coming out of each trouser leg.
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes
trying-
more sense than hooves for hands, normal feet.
I'm trying to think if there's
mean, it's-
anything worse coming up, and I don't think so. I mean, there's the Wendigo we designed, so that's like missing feet. But other than that,
In the generator?
no, in the October
Oh.
we did a stream where we designed some characters for October, some of which will return, including a Wendigo. And Wendigos, in their lore, have basically walked or run so much that their feet have just worn down. So
I think that's also when Hopper got designed, because multiple jokes he made.
yeah, there was Hopper, there was the Wendigo, and a wooden scarecrow thing. Also did a Muton. They're not appearing. Oh, they might be in the background somewhere.
Who knows?
Who knows? I don't.
You're the creator.
Exactly.
I think I might be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Look
character.
at her.
What's her name? We get a random name generator.
Yeah.
Cool, can do.
I mean, I was able to find a random pirate name generator for Dark, but that's
I mean, you
a
have
little
like fantasynamesgenerator.com, which has just random name generators for about everything you could ever imagine.
I guess a lot of these are like baby name generators, so they're unlikely to come up with surnames, right?
I mean, hold on, let me go to fantasy.
Oh, here we are. Okay. Some random names. Angelina Werner. Sierra Morgan. Carolyn. Sunny Greer.
Sierra Depressed. Sierra Depressy.
Sierra Depressing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, I can
Want to write down the name so we can remember? Or
How
I
about
won't remember.
Mel
you
N.
wanna
Colley?
remember this one?
I want to remember this one.
Yeah.
It's a good character design.
Yeah, I'm gonna put forward Mel N. Colley.
Oh
We
my
could
god,
do
yeah.
Sierra Depresso. Sierra Depressi. Yeah. Boom.
Here we go.
Marvelous. That's one character. Now for the others.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit weird to be wearing clothes too small for yourself if you describe yourself as fragile, but there we are.
I mean,
It's
it was
support.
from a third person perspective.
True.
He's not describing himself in third person. I
Maybe
assume,
that's
at least.
Maybe that's why they look fragile. They're just so exposed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not featuring, but she lives like in Finland.
Cool. Right, Chibi. I'm gonna get a character for you.
Neat.
What details would you like?
I don't know. I have no preferences.
Okay,
Just
I'm gonna
choose. for me.
random, unique, detailed. We'll go with simple, so you got more to play with,
Okay.
or more room to play in, I should say. Cool. What have we got? Standing tall and slender with caramel skin, this woman has an absent-minded feel about her. She has friendly dark grey eyes, and her shoulder-length curly vivid pink hair is pulled into a ponytail.
Nice.
She usually wears feminine clothes that are slightly too small. It seems obsessed with clothes that are a bit too small.
Yeah, is this a theme?
That's an easy thing to draw.
Okay, so this character's got curly pink hair. Shoulder length, although pulled into a ponytail. Friendly eyes, although absent-minded. Boom, there we are. It's in chat. Or it's in the Discord.
Let me read through it, because I already forgot everything you just said.
My brain took caramel skin to be literal, and now I'm upset.
That is very upsetting.
I mean, could make a caramel person instead of a gingerbread man.
Yeah, this is Gingerbread Man's friend. There's no. The last one was quite specific about the height. This one just says tall.
Yeah. Look at me measuring out proportions. Live on stream.
It's frankly.
She's already too tall for the canvas.
It says tall. It says tall.
I mean, there's nothing that says we have to leave room for feet, unlike with the bodybuilding stuff, where someone is eventually going to have to draw a foot, so you could always just not do feet.
Feet.
No feet.
I'm trying to think of a way of combining these together, so that we do the bodybuilding thing, but we also randomly generate a character for each part. It's like, oh, you have the hair. Randomly generate. The hair is pink and curly. Go.
I don't know if there's a thing that randomly generates separate parts. I think
I can make one.
it might be doable if we like randomly generate a character, and then it's like, okay, now we have the description of the character. Everyone's now randomly assigned to a body part.
Yeah, I can make one specifically for this, where you randomly generate each part as you go, and it reveals. I reckon we can do that. Put that on the list of things to do.
The very big list of things to do.
Very, very big.
Dude,
Really excessive.
someone have an absent-minded feel about them.
Absent-minded, but with friendly eyes.
They're walking into a lamppost.
They're already standing here.
The head is just
They're
open.
standing into a lamppost.
Just slowly smushing their face. Oh, hello.
Like licking a lamppost. I was curious.
Let me just put a lamppost in there then.
To be fair, I have walked into a lamppost before. And
did you feel absent-minded while doing it?
I felt like an absolute idiot. I was turning back to wave at someone. And yeah, I just walked into a lamppost, and it didn't hurt, it was just incredibly surprising. It's like, what's happening? Fight or flight response.
Smooshed against it. Don't know how they managed this because they are standing very firmly still, but you know.
They are absent. Their mind is elsewhere. AWOL.
A lamp.
A lamp.
Friendly eyes.
It was a wall, and now it's the lamppost. A
They're just
post.
so freaking good at making humans look like humans.
Now add the cat ears. Didn't specify not a cat. So.
Yeah. I mean, you could make every single one of these a furry.
I mean, there's
Do
a lot
that,
of
but I
things that
won't.
Yeah, the only it says woman, but beyond that, pronoun she, description woman. Everything else is just these individual things. It says caramel skin.
Yum.
Also, vivid pink hair on a cat. That's just definitely something from Cats the Musical.
Actually,
That's the musical fan art.
Hold on,
most
I'm
of the cats
surely-
in the cats from Cats musical are fairly normally colored, even if their patterns are a bit odd.
I know you're probably right, but I disapprove of the combination of the words Cats the Musical and normal. It's just, I feel like they're antithetical. There's some sort of law of linguistics that means you can't put those together.
Linguistic law.
I like the idea that the hair just stopped there. Just the unicorn horn.
Yeah, really, the one that's got the oddest pattern is Mistopheles, but that's because his pattern is specifically set up to look like a suit.
Yeah.
Some cats do have that, so yeah.
I was going to say you're always seeing pictures of cats that have sort of oddly shaped colorings, because there's a lot of cats and the colorings are random, so you're eventually going to find something that looks recognizable. Enough monkeys on enough typewriters, and they will make ASCII art of a cat wearing a suit. That's the phrase, right?
Definitely.
I mean, it's probably more interesting to look at than the random typed Shakespeare.
Mm. There's this thing called the Library of Babel. You ever heard about that?
Yeah.
I was going to do a stream on it. It was a short story by someone. This idea that there's a library that contains every book that has ever been written, will ever be written, and could ever be written. And as a consequence, the vast majority of them are complete gibberish. But in there somewhere is, you know, the best recipe for quiche, or your life story, or, you know,
That's a good quiche.
the most accurate description of the philosophy of life that there is. But how do you find it? How do you know you've got it? Because for every one of those, there's a billion with typos, and there's, you know, if you want to find that best recipe, how do you know you got the best one and not the one where they've replaced the word, you know, flour with bitumen? They're all in there.
What?
Anyway, point
Bitumen.
being, someone made it. It's online. Someone made a website. They limited it, obviously. There's only so much information that there is. But I think they randomly generated every, is it 30 line possible arrangement of digits, or of letters and numbers and spaces and punctuation. So, you know, Shakespeare's in there somewhere. No one's found it yet, but it's in there. And I just quite like that. It's technically just a randomly generated thing, but because it's fixed, it's sort of odd that it's all in there. It's all in there somewhere, but you'll just never find it. Statistically, no one will ever find anything interesting in it.
See, and that's also not taking into account fact that there are more characters you could be using to write things.
Yeah, they just used in the original story they used a shorter alphabet for some reason, but for the website they used 26 normal letters, full stop, comma, and space. I think that's all they used. Yeah, and you can
that kind of character.
you can go on there. You can type in because the way it's set up in the story is that there is this library is seemingly infinite, although it's probably not. But and each it's divided into hexagonal rooms, and each room has 4 bookcases, and each bookcase has so many books, and each book has so many pages and stuff. And so you can go onto this website, type in a string of letters and numbers or whatever, and that will give you a room, one of these millions and billions of rooms. And then in that room, you click on a bookshelf, you click on a book, and you see what's in it. And it's probably nonsense, but you might find a word. If you're lucky,
Yes.
a 4 or 5 letter word. Ooh.
A full word.
Yeah, I was going to do a stream on that. I was going to say, okay, let's randomly generate a book, and then try and find anything in it with any meaning, and then draw something based on that. Then I realized we probably just get egg and
Agent egg.
I'm just reminded of those
That'd be great.
word searchy type things where it's like the first 4 words you see are whatever.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, yeesh.
The next 4 words you see are what are going to describe the year ahead, and just top line starting from the left is just the word disaster. Cheers.
But yeah, though, funnily enough, that sort of thing where it's like, oh, this is a bunch of nonsense. That's actually why libraries have to go through and prune their collections, because I mean, some people will go, oh no, you're destroying books, and it's like, yeah, the books were utter nonsense.
Yeah.
We looked at them. We've
Static
weighed
things.
the benefits, and
Things-
we've decided they're nonsense. So
Things-
the library that was at my undergraduate university, so it has a reference section, as any good university library has. While we were there, though, they went through the reference section and threw out a bunch of old encyclopedias, because it's like, these things are over 30 years old. The information in them is outdated. We're not keeping them here. There are other things that are more useful.
Yeah.
And so the art department took them and made them into a bunch of art pieces, because it's like, well, might as well do something with it. Free material.
Might as well. Papier-mâché. So what did you make your sculpture with? Information.
Now that's pretentious.
Look at this bubblegum pink character.
I love the hair.
You do very good
I
bouncy
like
hair.
how it looks like she's sort of coming out of the lamppost because of how her leg gets cut off. Like, I know you drew in the leg,
Yeah.
but because of how my brain is trying to fill in where the leg should be, it just looks like she's fading out of the lamppost.
She's trying to do that thing where you're like, oh, you go behind the lamppost and then it looks like you disappeared. But she doesn't realize that that's a trick effect. She's trying to do it in real life.
He doesn't realize there's actually a portal.
Is this here? Was there more?
I don't think so. It's pretty spot on.
Absent-minded, friendly, curly, vivid pink hair.
You know, I'm not going to insist that you make their eyes dark grey, because that doesn't matter.
Pink is the most important one here, I think.
It's vivid pink. It said vivid in particular. If it says
Yeah,
vivid, you got to do it.
Is this vivid pink enough? Is this vivid?
Against the white background and the green outline, absolutely.
Yeah, with the green outline, it does look good.
Stark.
I
Here we
did
are.
it.
What's the name?
I do not know. I don't know.
Well, the first name that came into my head was Brandy. I don't know if that helps.
Just Brandy. That's
Brandy.
it.
Brandy.
No, just Brandy.
Oh, just Brandy. They're going for the whole, just the one name branding, if you'll pardon the expression. So like Sting or
It's
Bono.
just Brandy
Just
with a little heart.
Brandy. Yeah. Heart is partners. It's a character. You can put emojis in names now.
Yeah, it's all good. This is Brandy.
Brandy.
She
Yeah.
is not the brightest, but
Which is very
she
friendly.
tries.
There we are. Marvelous. Okie dokie.
Brandy is actually a good name for her.
The heart at the end of it really makes it.
Yeah.
It's Brandy.
Brandy. Maybe the heart's the surname. I don't know. Cool. Ragdoll, do you want to generate one for me?
All right.
Hope the answer's yes. Rhetorical questions.
So, as
Strangely.
far as type is concerned, do you want realistic, exotic, anime, unique?
Unique. Why not?
All right. And have we been doing? Oh, detailed description means that we have even more control over things.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it just meant a longer one.
Oh yeah.
Optional features: hair length, hair dye, hair loss, facial hair, makeup, scars, piercings, tattoos, clothing info.
Wow.
Let's do that. Let's see what happens.
Let's give it a go.
Standing 5 foot 5 inches tall, this dark-skinned person has a focused feel about them, and they have a large skin tag on their back. What? A what?
It's Silent Hill time.
They have
They
a
have
what?
a skin tag. That's what it says. A round face, large nose, and puffy lips. Their gray eyes are rounded, and they have neat eyebrows. Their
Jesus,
blonde
so
hair
much.
dip dyed at the ends. That's not how you say that. It's tip dyed. With shades of blood red, is long, greasy, and is worn in a bun.
Christ.
They have pierced their left earlobe. They have short arms, a weak torso, weak legs, and average-sized feet. Thanks. They usually wear clean retro clothes that are mostly earth-colored and wear no jewelry, except for the piercing in their left earlobe, obviously.
Did you get all that, Chris?
No.
I'm gonna...
Okay. So if I find the focused, okay. So the large nose. You know I'm not doing this normally.
No. I wouldn't expect you
neat
to.
eyebrows. Front head on the bun. Short arms, weak. What does it mean to have a weak torso?
I don't know. I also don't know what it means to have a large skin tag on your back. And to be perfectly honest, I don't want to know.
Also, it says they've pierced their left earlobe. Doesn't mean they're wearing anything in it.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
Okay. So. Okay, let's get some.
See, the fact that the rest of their body is described as short and weak, and then their face is like, oh, it's a round face, large nose, puffy lips. It's kind of like, did they eat a bee? Is their face like swollen up because bee?
Character is Cosby.
Very focused.
So focused. Love this hunch they've got going on. The focus hunch. What are they focusing on?
I don't know. I'm currently focusing on what precisely classifies as retro clothes. Are we talking like a bodice, a kind of?
I mean, I was listening to a part of an interview over the radio with an actress, and she described being in a mini-series set in the 90s as being in a period piece. So
I mean, yeah.
I don't think retro has any meaning anymore.
I think. Oh, what was it? My dad walked past a game shop the other week. And he said that they described it as containing vintage and retro games. And I think he said something like vintage is like retro's a while ago, but not too long ago, and vintage is before. So it's like something goes from retro to vintage as time goes on. So I think retro must be like 90s now, I guess. 90s, 80s maybe.
I
mean,
looked up,
people just call
I
it
just
vintage.
googled retro clothes and it's just everything.
Exactly. Like what classifies this?
Yeah, like I said, if someone can say, "Oh, I've been in a period piece and it's a show set in the 90s," I don't think words mean anything anymore. It's just whatever.
No,
I
people
got
just say
this.
vintage and retro.
Ah,
It's
look at
basically-
that. Saved by the Bell color scheme.
Also, I got this, which is not the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's focused over. They have neat.
Though oddly enough,
backgrounds.
I'm pretty sure both did come out of the same century.
And
A
also,
century's a long time.
like,
um,
how many centuries does retro span? Because I think it's at least 3 by this point. Just draw a person in like an amalgamation of 3 centuries worth of clothing. That's doable, right?
Just dress them up as a chimney sweep.
That's
That should be
always
old enough.
retro.
Oh, this face is so odd.
I'm so very desperately trying to make it not look like some sort of racial stereotype.
Yeah.
It's
And that's the other thing with saying, oh, they've got round face, large nose, and puffy lips.
yeah.
Like I'm going more for the kind of stung by a bee lip sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's tricky time.
It's very tricky, but so far it isn't looking like a stereotype, and I hope it stays that way.
It still looks odd though.
Yeah.
So their hair was described as long and greasy, and one in a bun.
Blonde hair, dip-dyed at the ends with shades of blood red, is long, greasy, and is worn in a bun. Yes. Just a lot going on with that hair. Jesus Christ.
Well, at the very least, their clothes aren't too tight.
I mean, I did do the detailed one just to sort of see what it did.
I mean, it's fun. It's just like a lot of information to like process and like when just someone is telling it to you, like
Yeah, hence why I recommended us putting it into the Discord so we can look at it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that now. Like I'm going like if concentrated look and greasy hair, done up in a bun. I'm immediately thinking like some sort of sport, some sort of maybe like contact sport or something. That's the first thing that sort of springs to mind.
Yeah, they've just been out playing all day, haven't taken a shower yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you've said that, I look at this and go, yeah, that's a footballer. That's someone who's played football.
But there's only so many sports that you can get away with a weak torso, weak legs, and average-sized feet.
Um.
And short arms. Short
Short
arms,
arms.
weak torso.
Short arms. You might have to readjust your sketch layer there. Short arms.
This is short, not weak.
No. Strong arms. I don't know
leg
what
day.
sport this man plays, but, you know, he definitely plays one of them. At least. It also kind of looks like he's, like, doing, like, the fuckboy pose with, like, the praying, like... You know the one.
Do I?
I hope I don't sound insane saying that.
I know what you're talking about, Chibi. Although it doesn't surprise me that Chris does not.
Yeah, it's not.
There was this, like, Tumblr post all about it a while ago.
I was kind of liking them until I had to draw short arms.
Person will never find it again because it's fucking Tumblr. But you know.
Tumblr, where everything disappears into the ether.
Don't search for it on Tumblr. Search for it on Google with a caveat on there to look.
So I'm going for the.
If you want a well-functioning working search engine, go to AO3, not Tumblr.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm fixing my drawing in Procreate.
You do what you want to do. Good time. I'm glad you like it enough to want to work on it elsewhere. I just
hated it enough to fix it.
I just completely abandon all my stuff from these streams.
I always try to make them better afterwards.
I mean, first you put them on Twitter.
I'm going for the...
Repost first.
They have pierced their left earlobe.
Okay.
Done. Because they've got a skin tag on their back, can't really see that. That's just a bit of a lump.
I mean, I'd be fine with you just leaving that out because just the thought of what the heck it even is a skin tag is upsetting.
Well, I think also every time.
There's the post with the. It's in the last gift in the post where he does what I'm talking about. The last one with the bun where he does the like
I see.
Hand motion with like
Okay, well.
That one. That was what I was talking about.
Yeah, not the intention.
Not the intention, but it does like kind of fits. Like, I instantly thought of that post specifically when you said he was like a sportsman of some kind, and then this post.
Oh no, done the thing you don't like, Chip.
Oh no, wait, what?
It's realistics. So I started with my comfort zone, the eyes, and now I have realistic eyes on a cartoon.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I do not know what sport this
Yeah.
character plays.
Maybe he's like he was a sportsman, but now he's like a sports commentator.
Poorly. That video of the person from Danish television, funnily enough, who was going to karate chop a bunch of coconuts and couldn't. He's doing that.
Out of context, that is a wonderful sentence. I think I have a sneaking suspicion that in context it's also wonderful, but
You've seen the video, haven't you?
no.
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
long.
sure I have, but it sounds really funny.
I'ma find it for you guys. It's awesome. But also very sad now that I think about it.
Look at this character. What's his name?
The way he's standing on his tiptoes is very awkward.
Focused.
He's also standing on like uneven ground, which is very funny.
So, trying to think of something better than the first name that popped into my head, but I think I'm just gonna. Which was Taylor Blonkins, and I don't know what Blonkins means.
Well, it's now his surname.
Okay. Taylor Blonkins. Maybe with an umlaut.
Out of a long, proud line of Blonkins.
Yeah.
Is proud
They
the
all
right word?
played the same sport for centuries.
What that sport is, we do not know.
Yeah.
No.
No, but only Blonkins are allowed to play it.
Yeah.
Blonk ball.
Blunk ball.
Where's the ball? I don't know.
There's also like coloured tips to the hair on there.
Yeah. Also, only
Blunkins.
Blonkins are allowed to commentate on the sport. It's a very like family.
I mean, to the ignorant outside observer, it just looks like a bunch of people get drunk and throw a ball around a field. But
if you know,
yeah,
if you marry into the family, then then you'll know. Then you'll figure it out. There's a whole ritual behind it.
Your curiosity will doom you.
Once you've blonked, you can no longer escape.
Once you blunk, you can't go back.
Once you've blonked, you just can't stonk. Right, Taylor Blonkins.
With like
Blonkins
the dyed hair, but it being in a bun, it just looks like someone just like dumped some paint on him, on his bun specifically, and that was just like, yeah, that's fine. This is part of my style.
It's part of Blonk Ball. Don't worry about it.
Challenge.
Well, that happened. Thank you, Taylor. Cool. Christi, you can generate one for Ragdoll.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Circle will be unbroken.
Let me just open the right thing.
Now I get to try and draw a person.
Ooh, let it just
Or I guess if I really want to, I
open the
could
right-
take the description and then apply it to a cat or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
If there's no-
Like you said during my turn. No reason this couldn't be a cat.
As long as you do not directly contradict any of the information given to you, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if you do, you'll be penalized.
Oh no.
You'll be docked points.
From which point total? We don't know.
I'm keeping track.
I have a person.
Ah,
Somehow standing, is it 5.9 feet tall? Is that how you say it?
5'9".
5'9" and stout, with white skin. This man has a possessed feel about him. He has soft blue eyes, and his shoulder length, thick chestnut brown hair is slick. He usually wears perfectly pressed matching clothes that are well-fitting. Well-fitting clothes for once.
Yay!
Oh!
But they're 5'9" and stout.
Yeah.
5'9" and stout.
Yeah. I mean, no sort of.
No, I mean stout is usually because the description is usually short and stout. So
Yeah.
clearly these
Yeah.
are two different descriptions.
Well, no, 5'9's relatively short for a man.
So
If they are a man.
I think it said man, didn't
Oh,
it?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and copy it into the Discord so
Oh,
I
yeah.
can
Sorry.
also look at it.
Stout is
'Cause I
defined
know
as
stout is also
bulky
I
in
know stout
figure.
is also a type. We're all talking at once.
Sorry.
You guys doing okay?
Yeah, I was just saying stout is bulky in figure, thick set, or corpulent, which is a lovely word.
Hope you what now?
Strong, sturdy. Yeah, basically just sort of, you know,
Corpu-
stout has nothing to do with
corporation.
height.
They're a
Just-
Yeah,
corporation.
they're sort of bulky built, so it's like
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Short and bulky. Yeah,
Mhm.
only with slick hair.
They're a box.
Regular height and bulky. I mean, I'm coming at this from being a short person, so 5'9" is not short to me.
But that's fair.
What is 5? I don't know.
Can I layer this over here?
What would it be?
Yeah,
3
layer.
inches is about 10 centimeters. So it's about 175 centimeters, 170.
Yeah,
Three?
okay. That's like
That's average.
For a man?
10 centimeters taller than I am. That's a little bit over 10 centimeters, but I mean most people are that or taller. I live in the Netherlands. Everyone is fucking tall.
I know here too.
Oh, look. Hey, 175 centimeters. Bang on.
What's
It's
the
like,
Yeah,
look at all the
so
tall Scandinavians, and then me. Meh.
an
average
inch
height
is
of a
like
Dutch man is 182.5 centimeters. Yeah,
That's pretty tall.
That's
I
6
mean,
foot, right?
we are like the tallest in the world, like on average height.
Yeah,
And I'm small.
Chibi Netherlands. That's your
Yeah.
uniqueness.
Oh damn, that's a lot taller than Danes.
Average Dutch woman is 168.7 centimeters, which is about
That's quite short.
7 centimeters taller than I am.
That's 5'5".
Me's feet are so difficult. Both
Yeah.
to draw and
Why are you all
understand.
measuring with your feet out there? Doesn't make any
Look,
sense.
I'm caught in the crossfire here. I have to learn both.
do you want the actual answer or do you just want to be memeing about it? Because there is actually a reason why
I don't want to know the reason.
imperial system is all weird. And there is actually also a reason why the U.S. Didn't really adopt the metric system as soon as everyone else does, though we do use the metric system. Most of our things, if you're buying stuff, it will label everything in both.
I mean, it's nice it's in both, but
Yeah, but why? Like,
Oh,
like-
So the reason why we did not adopt it at the same time as Europe did is because the gentleman who was coming across the ocean to introduce the metric system got kidnapped by pirates.
oh, well,
well,
what?
pirates stopped the metric system from reaching.
that's an interesting math story.
Sure. You know, sure.
It's one of the funniest things. Now, I mean, obviously it was a little more complicated than that, but it's
Yeah.
just kind of one of those. Yeah, he went across the ocean in a boat, and the boat didn't make it.
Why did we
So he,
send
Yarr,
just
they-
one person to introduce the metric system? That's my question.
Oh yeah, they've got centimeters on their boat. Don't know what that is, but I bet it's worth a pretty penny.
It has sense
Yeah,
in the
it-
name.
but yeah, and in the U.S., like I said, we have both labeled. So if you are buying like food or whatnot, both are labeled. If you're driving a car, it's labeled in both kilometers per mile and miles per hour, or not kilometers per mile,
Kilometers per
kilometers per
mile?
hour and miles per hour. The official measurements that are taken with like military stuff, it's actually all metric. The main things you don't see listed in both are street signs, but that's partially because it takes a long time to replace street signs because there's a lot of them.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I have the list of average height by country. The top one that has like the majority of the population surveyed is the Netherlands.
Yeah.
No,
According to this,
I
you
mean,
are
there's
the-
also not a lot of population to survey, so that would be a little easier.
There are some slightly higher. There's the Dinaric Alps and Bosnia and Herzegovina, but other than that, Netherlands. Let's go down. Norway's next. There's a bit of a theme coming up here. Austria, Estonia,
All you Vikings,
Germany,
you tall Viking people.
oh,
I
Tonga.
think the Dutch aren't Vikings. We were raided by the Vikings.
Sorry.
Sweden, Czech Republic, Serbia, Greece.
It's funny. It's funny that people think, "Oh, Scandinavians, they're so tall," and Denmark's not even on that list yet.
Okay, the UK come in not too far behind.
Is
most of
UK
Europe.
before Denmark?
Apparently.
Whoa.
Where is? I'm still scrolling to find Denmark.
Damn.
Denmark.
That's
Or did I miss it? I missed it.
That's too relatable that Denmark's always the forgotten child.
Or you might not have had a full sort of survey.
There is that as well.
Yeah, that's also true. I
No,
mean,
if there's something we can be proud of, we definitely have that.
Yeah, you don't have a full. You only bothered to actually measure 5% of the population, but of that, you
Lazy.
are. Yeah, you're behind. Sweden, Lithuania, Latvia, Finland, but you're up there,
The usual.
way above UK.
Yay! It's
suck
something.
it, UK.
So this doesn't really say like what kind of clothes these are beyond the fact that they're matching, well fitted, and perfectly pressed. But
Yeah.
pressed is just what you do to like it's basically part of the like cleaning and maintenance process of
Yeah.
clothes
But it's
to
not
make sure
really
that there's no
something
wrinkles.
you do
So you
anymore.
could technically have a perfectly pressed t-shirt.
Yeah. He could.
Yeah, but who presses a t-shirt, you know?
What's strange about that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I remember. So my dad's retired military, so that's one of the things they had to do with their uniforms. Is they had to press their clothing. So it's like, what kind of clothes even is this? Like, is this just like a perfectly pressed hula shirt? Not hula shirt. Hawaiian shirt.
It's a
Oh, yes,
perfectly
please.
pressed crop top. Crop top Hawaiian shirt combo. How about that?
That's a look.
I think I've actually seen that, like, tied at the waist.
That's a look. We're going with that. Let's see if I can.
Apparently the
I don't know what the like matching bottom part is for that, but you know, it sure is a look.
who said it had to match?
This
The
says they have to
description.
match.
Oh, did it?
The description
Oh,
says
matching clothes. Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
just be a Hawaiian print shorts.
Yeah.
It's just another shirt.
It's wearing shirt on top, shirt on the bottom. That's the rules.
They're matching.
He has to wear board shorts and Hawaiian shirts because he's just so stocky, nothing else fits.
Yeah.
Aww.
Probably where the hips go. Okay, let's see.
So apparently, of the countries in the United Kingdom, Wales is the tallest. Which makes sense.
I
They've
mean,
got to
Well,
look over all those mountains. That makes sense.
I do imagine Lewis is the tallest of all the UK folk, which I don't know if it's true, but that's just the vibe he gives off.
Yeah, I'll go with that. And I'm not gonna test it because I'll probably get intimidated. He plays rugby. It's scary. But interestingly, England, the statistics for England are almost identical for the statistics for the United States. So
Yeah.
you have slightly shorter women, but exactly the same height men.
What happened to the women?
I don't know.
what happened to them?
What happened? What changed?
Diet? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into height of an individual. So.
Oh, heat? Maybe you sweated it out because Britain's quite cold, and I know a lot of America's cold, but a lot of America's hot as well. So
That's what happens when you're when you're essentially 50 different countries stacked into a trench coat.
yeah.
To be one large.
We're just 4. Well, 3.5, I guess. There's a bit of an argument there.
We're talking about this, like, what's the reason why the Dutch would be so tall? And my first thought was, we're compensating. I'll go with that. That seems right. Has nothing to do, like, with our diet or anything. We just decided we needed to be.
I mean, there are worse ways to compensate. We see a lot of them in the United States all the time.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the Dutch also have awful ways to compensate for anything, but you know. Height is the least offensive one.
Yeah, we are going to physically make ourselves taller so that we look bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a thing on the ratio between the height of men and women, male and female. And apparently Japan has the largest discrepancy. They have the tallest males to the shortest females.
Mm.
I actually wouldn't have thought that.
Which country has the least difference?
Let's have a look. There's a lot of not available because somebody didn't bother to actually write them all down. Data collection. It's a bother. Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Gesundheit.
East Timor, Gambia, Liberia, Nigeria, Benin, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Papua New Guinea. Rwanda, St. Kitts and Nevis. That's interesting. Sierra Leone, Albania, Belgium.
Huh.
Now, I don't know whether that's because the men are particularly short or the women are particularly tall.
Let's
I mean, either
see.
one could make it true, so.
Yeah, annoyingly, it doesn't just give average height; it just splits them into men and women, which I think is
Okay. The average Belgian man is 181.69 centimeters. And the average Belgian woman is 165.49 centimeters. 5'11" or 5'5", apparently. That's what Google says.
Denmark was like a centimeter behind Netherlands in both.
A whole centimeter.
A whole freaking
It's
centipede.
like you're not even trying.
Yeah. Just,
like-
with enough spite, you too can beat the Netherlands in average heights.
If we're gonna do this, we're just gonna force feed children protein powder. Grow, damn you!
We need
It's
to be
enough
tall.
dairy farming.
We're Vikings, we need to be tall.
It is like a bit of a identity crisis.
Height
Being
entity.
like, are we Christian? Are we pagan? Are we
Are we dancer?
dancers?
No, we're tall.
Yeah, but we're not even that. Like, we
Not
used
even
to
the
be
tallest.
the Scandinavian country, and now we're like the little brother that's like, can I play too? And you just give them the controller without plugging it in.
I do want to check something. I want to check. I want to see where Ireland is. Yearly female height. Okay, they're quite high, quite tall. Women from Ireland. The only reason is because I have an aunt who moved to Ireland, and she is absolutely tiny. I wanted to know whether or not she brought the average down.
Get to call her. You brought the average down
I
on.
mean,
Yeah.
you're first gonna have to ask if they registered her height for this server.
Yeah. It was. When was this?
Just call her up right now, live on stream.
2007. They mentioned it, so probably not. Hasn't gone down yet.
Okay. Check again in a few years.
Yeah, the average height for Irish women is 5'4", 163 centimeters, and she's.
Write it down and say check again in 5 years.
She can't be any more than 150 centimeters.
Aw. Baby.
She's
My
tiny.
grandma is 140.
How tall?
That's well. Yeah, about 1.5 meters probably.
Meter and a half. Okay. I am taller. Yay.
Yay! So I have met people smaller than you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
taking some of the mystery away, isn't it? Excited to finally get to meet you. Tiny Chib. No.
I mean, yeah, I have also met people smaller than me, but most Dutch people are definitely not smaller than me.
That's fair. I'm the tallest in my family, so it's a bit the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the average height is like 182 centimeters of a Dutch man, and like that's tall. And most are taller. Most I've met are taller.
I'm going to assume maybe like there's also regional differences because I remember like I'm the tallest in my family, even extended family. My brother's not too far away. But I just remember feeling very tall for a lot of the time, which and I'm not a particularly confident and outgoing person, so that's always a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But then I remember going to university and feeling absolutely tiny. There are so many people taller than me. I was like, where did you come from? Where have you been all my life? I can hide behind people now. It's great.
For me, one of my cousins is like an absolute giant. Like has to like actually like move his head down to fit through the door kind of tall. Which he's also like a good like chunk older than me, so he's pretty much been an adult my entire life. So he's always been fucking massive as far as I'm concerned. So that's kind of what I grew up around. And then like I got to uni and there was another person that height.
No,
No, it was my chance.
Because it was like I had someone in my introduction group who was like 189 centimeters, which is already far too tall for my liking. But then the person who like was like organizing stuff, who was also a student, they like somewhat bonded over the fact that one was 189 and the other was 198 centimeters tall.
Oh dear.
That's awesome.
Humans find the oddest things to bond over. They, if your country had used imperial measurements, those two people would never have been friends.
But I don't know if they became friends because, like, one was like at least 2 years older. But it was like a weird little like moment for them. I was just standing there at my absolute like tiny 161 centimeters. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, I used to have a physics teacher who was I don't know how tall, probably pushing 2 meters, and he was just like the most just like deadpan sort of funny person. He's just had this wonderful sort of just sort of floated around in the sort of upper stratosphere making wry jokes and stuff until one day we had to do a physics experiment which involved a piece of apparatus. So we were doing that thing where like, if you fire a bullet and drop a bullet at the same time, they'll both hit the ground simultaneously. Doing that thing because vertical acceleration is independent from horizontal movement. And so he set up this little thing that dropped a ball but also flung a ball at the same time across the thing, and he was going up to attach it on the ceiling, and he had to get on a little step ladder, and he was terrified of getting on this step ladder. And I'm like, you're already 2 meters tall. How can you be terrified of a couple of little steps? It was great.
Well, because if he falls, there's a lot of him to fall.
True.
Yeah.
And apparently he had quite weak bones. He was told by his doctor he had to stop exercising and eat more. Because
I mean, it is that the tallest people I've met they also look like you could easily like break their arm if you just tried hard enough because they're like thin.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to keep all that built up. There's a lot more mass than you'd think just scaling up the height.
Yeah, it turns out that when people get taller, the distribution of mass isn't just it's not just like scaling a picture.
Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried that with references. It doesn't work.
No,
I had to draw a dwarf
which
the
is
other day.
always
That was
funny
tricky.
when people are trying to like compare like ratios of characters to figure out things with like ages or whatnot. It's like, okay, well, one, the problem's going to be you're doing this with cartoon characters, and some of these cartoon characters, their eyes are a good fourth of their head. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, human proportions are weird at different sizes. Like, it looks fine, but then you actually try to do scaling, and then it just looks uncanny.
It's weird.
Welcome to Uncanny Valley.
How does one draw slick hair?
Drop ink bottle on it.
Yeah. Solid, with the occasional little line for a sheen.
Close to the head, usually. I think close to the skull.
No, because it's slicked back, but it's also shoulder length. So,
Yeah.
So Slick Jesse.
it's just right up against their neck back there.
Although I'm pretty sure his hair went further down.
In my version, his hair goes much further back.
Yeah.
But I don't know which version you're talking about.
Also, it's thick but slick, which is interesting.
Thick slick.
Thick slick.
This
Yeah.
man has a possessed feel about him. Well, that's
yeah.
something to do with the eyes.
Crazy eyes.
Crazy soft blue eyes.
Chibi, I apologize in advance.
It's fine. I'll deal with it.
It's looking down at something as if to say.
Yeah. These eyes are fine, because they look less like they're hollow and more like that's just like they're inverted, like the white pupils are just now white, and that's fine.
Demon
The
eyes.
whites of the eyes are black, and that's fine.
That's
Okay.
fine. Demon eyes are fine.
Stop.
Perfectly
Yeah.
normal. Chibi's on
Demon
Tumblr, it's fine.
Are fine. Sunken in eyes, no thank you.
No.
I mean, there's no way I'm getting enough detail on this to make it definite, to make it really look sunken in.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's all
dog.
just sketchy nonsense here.
It's looking great. Yeah, you could just, like, I've noticed you left the hands out so far. You could just, like, decide to cut them off. It doesn't say anything about
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, well, that's because I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as hands were concerned.
Oh,
Anatomy is hard.
Did find a loophole. It says he usually wears perfectly pressed matching clothes that are well fitting. Doesn't have to be in your drawing, just usually does.
Yeah.
Too late now, but in the future.
I mean, it says that for all the clothes. Like, usually they wear this, and
Yeah.
it's like...
But sometimes they got to shower.
Not
so.
today.
It's not what I wanted.
It's a weird thing to put in a description, usually. Like,
Yeah.
not, like, it's part of a description, but, like, if you see someone walking in the street, you don't say, they usually wear a sweater, if you see them happen to wear a sweater.
Also, the
You say, they're wearing a sweater right now.
The implication there is also that every other description that doesn't say usually implies constantly. Constantly has a possessed feel about him. Constantly has soft blue eyes. They're always soft.
They're always so soft. His hair always slicked back, even when he's just woken up. It's weird.
Always shoulder length. Is never grown. Never been cut.
I like the Hawaiian shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're matching.
They match.
Those were like in a while ago, weren't they? Like shorts and blazers that were patterned.
Were they?
With the like black around the eyes and the eyes being blue. My first thought was like, oh, it's Sam's Undertale.
I thought that too.
Oh dear.
This is what it looked like
Yeah,
before he
that-
became a skelly bomb. I can imagine that.
All right, I think that's what I've got for my nonsense. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
fair.
I was-
What's his name?
I was about
Sam's
to
Undertale?
I mean, he could be. Names are the
Definitely
hardest
could
part of
be.
these.
Sam Anderton.
I'm trying to think of a pun with a Hawaiian shirt, but I can't.
Look at that. She's looking great.
I had to redeem myself.
That face is looking amazing.
Ooh.
Thank
Your
you.
painting, your face
It is very good,
is
but also
wow.
the fact that you're doing a good job of it makes the ratio between the really pointy hips to the rest of what's going on with the torso even more upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to share it before, but the eyes would have killed Chibi.
Well, we'll go back to Ragdoll's initial prognosis of you need to eat a burger. Please.
Have some of mine, please.
Yeah, especially with those like stomach folds that are going along right now. Just like, please
Yeah, it's
eat.
like she was like sickly or something. So I was like, yeah.
Very weak.
Sam and Till.
Sam und Tail.
Sam und Tail.
You can't see the tail, it's in the shorts.
Right.
Yeah. There we go.
Could even say Sam und der Tail.
That tail. We have like 20 minutes left. Do we want to do like one all simultaneously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Into the nonsense we go.
Into the nonsense we go. Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Once more into the breach. Never. I'm very bad at judging what's halfway.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it?
Close enough. That'll do. Whoops. Please get zoom and rotate mixed up. Cool. Right. So I guess we'll go with the opposite way around to what we did previously. So Chibi, you will come up with a description for me.
Come up, just on the spot.
Yeah, invent
Don't
one.
generate it, just come up with it.
I, meanwhile, will use the generator and make one for Ragdoll. Ragdoll will make one for Christi. Christi will make one for Chibi.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll start with giving my description.
What do I have to draw?
Yeah. I have a simple description for you. Standing short and solidly built with pale skin, this person has a weak-willed feel about them.
Okay.
They have dull blue eyes, and their elbow-length, curly ginger hair is very messy. They usually wear unwashed, inappropriate clothes that are modest.
Okay.
Inappropriate, then.
Yeah, it depends on the circumstances. If you're at a funeral and you're wearing a clown suit.
So draw a scene, then.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's
There
mine.
we go.
Ragdoll, you have standing 6'10", and lightly built with cream skin. This person has a fun-loving feel about them. They do have beady black eyes.
No.
And their long, curly, dark brown hair is styled into decorative cornrows.
Like a living doll.
They usually wear unwashed formal clothes, loose-fitting.
What's with the
Unwashed
unwashed clothes?
They have a suit, they really like it, they just haven't washed it for ages.
This is a hard doll.
Okay, well, here's the description I've generated then. I'm standing 6'6" tall and strapping with cyan skin. This man has a haughty feel about him. He has piercing dark orange eyes and long, wavy, bright pink hair that is usually braided. He usually wears retro clothing that are well fitted.
Damn, that's a lot of colors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow just barfed on them.
Standing 6'2" tall and slender with bronze skin, this man has an unstable feel about him. He has cold, dark green eyes and his short, straight black hair worn as a short bob. He usually wears perfectly pressed traditional clothes that are loose.
Perfectly pressed and loose. Like
Yeah,
David Byrne
that's
from
a
Talking
waste.
Heads.
Can you give it to me in text form?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
They're all standing as well.
How dare you? I'm gonna draw this.
I mean, I think it would be
Zoom
more
in on his
upsetting if they
face.
were 6'6" tall while sitting.
Yeah.
But also much more fun.
What does haughty mean?
Like arrogant, I think.
Sorry, what? Oh, haughty, yes.
Unstable.
Kind of sort of a bit up themselves, a little bit. Yeah, I'm
but
kind of stuck on inappropriate modest clothes. So modest implies they cover a lot. Inappropriate implies... Okay.
I'm very upset by this already.
oh no.
Lightly belts.
I'm even more upset by this now, and I did this to myself. Short. I feel like I'm drawing a creepy pasta.
I mean, you might be.
I think I actually might be.
I think this dark beady eyes probably is gonna influence that slightly.
No, mine has like what did it say? Cool dark green eyes.
Oh, right. Oh,
But
mine
I
had,
did
yeah.
go make him go like very like crazy eyed, because I guess that's what I was going for. That was his vibe, so you know.
Sorry, yeah,
Like this
the beady black eyes was
man?
for
Question mark.
Ragdoll.
Okay. the base. So, what sort of formal clothes should this I'm tempted to just put this person in a ball gown.
Do
it.
it.
What are traditional clothes?
Depends on where you are, I guess.
Like shirt and blazer?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You could put them in traditional Viking garb,
I could do that, yes.
which I know does not include those horn helmet things that are the stereotype.
No.
That comes from an opera.
Yeah. Oh.
Much like most Western tribes didn't really wear the headband with the little feather sticking out of it. That was mostly a thing used in Hollywood to keep people's wigs on.
Whoa. To keep the wigs on?
Yeah, because a lot of the time, the unless they were in the background with the like old spaghetti westerns and whatnot, most of the, especially the ones that were black and white, the quote unquote natives are not usually.
Actually, natives. I think I'm drawing Agent 47.
Good.
So did you say Agent 47 or Agent 47? It's a gentlemanly
Agent
47.
age 47.
Ah, right.
Standing 6.6 tall, or whatever you say it.
Six foot
I need to
six.
put a head on this person. Actually, maybe I don't even need to put a head on this person. It could just be floating eyes and hair. You know what? We're gonna do that. Floating eyes and hair. Fuck it, it's the last round. We can be silly.
Can always be silly.
You ever looked like a drawing at a drawing you just made and gone, this wasn't drawn by me? This is the feeling I'm having right now. It's very weird.
Don't think you're allowed to claim that one.
Traditional clothes. Suits.
Oh, that's a weird looking hand. We're leaving it. This one will have a clutch.
What a riveting stream.
Very much so. We're professionals.
I would say more, but I'm just very upset by this man I've drawn.
No, you didn't draw it, remember?
Yeah, that too.
If you never admit ownership, you can't take blame.
Okay. Build.
But he is wearing a suit, so it might be mine anyway.
It's your telltale sign.
Kind of.
Like if you're a serial killer, the detective's like, who could have done this? Well, the victim was dressed in a suit, which they weren't wearing before the murder. That's your calling card.
Okay, that looks a little better.
What was the hair again? Braided,
Did I miss it?
baby bright pink hair. God.
Unstable, got that. Short bob. Perfectly pressed traditional clothes that are loose. Kind of.
Remember, perfectly pressed and loose.
Well, that just means that they're pressed nicely. That doesn't mean they fit. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I have zoomed out because I'm more or less done, and this is a group.
I cannot wait to see them all.
And here I thought mine would be the oddest looking one since I opted to just not give it a head.
Which one is the oddest looking one in your opinion?
That's a good
I'm curious.
sound.
You know, I don't know.
That's the best possible outcome.
Yeah. Now I'm really curious.
I think I'm done now too.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, sure. Time for zooms.
Time for zooms.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Hello.
Christi, yours looks like a character from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, Keep, that's a psychopath.
That's a face. My word. I love the juxtaposition between Chibis and Ragdolls.
Oh, hi. Nice.
Yeah, I drew that face and was like, this isn't what I usually draw. Like, who drew this?
You don't say.
Oh no. I'm worried this is going to appear in our Dishonored RPG now.
It's a dope ass drawing. And that pinky finger.
Yeah,
Yes. Hold the knife daintily.
Dainty.
you gotta.
I like the outfit on yours,
Wow.
Christy.
Yeah.
What?
Outfit on Christie's is very like cool, casual.
Yeah.
And like Chris, I like yours. It's just so sad.
So
Yeah.
defeated.
Weak-willed.
But
Mm.
still with very polished shoes.
Yeah.
Making
just-
the effort.
The pentagram on their head.
I was trying to think of what's inappropriate but still modest, and I thought, well, maybe you'd have like some sort of extreme style that might not be, when you're going with the family to church or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's maybe not
fair
the
enough.
best.
Right,
But
Bulls, yours
they
is
made
so
such an
cute.
effort. They polished their shoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ragdoll's is so cute.
yeah.
Just like, hi!
Hi.
And then continuing the line of the arm. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is
I
a
think-
friend group. Or at least maybe yours.
It's the
You
suicide.
guys aren't. Mine is not part of this friends group.
I mean,
This looks
if
like
it's Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, my dude could be like an assassin. I haven't actually watched Guardians of
This-
the Galaxy.
it feels like
Oh, they're assassins.
more like jury duty or something. Like
I don't know how I made them look feminine. I really tried not to. I don't really draw men.
They look cool. Or they've got a cool vibe going on. I dig it.
And I
mean,
want
kind
that
of
hair though.
androgynous. Kind of. Yeah, this is think a
I mean,
friends
I will
group and
say,
a
Chibi,
serial killer.
you did manage to make it look like there's an unstable feel about this man.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, that's
And the bob and everything. It's just. I didn't think any of these descriptions would end up with like something that matches,
yeah.
but that one does.
No, do you know what this is? This is serial killer and victims.
Yeah,
Oh no.
you're right.
This is the front page of the newspaper.
That or a very weird version of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Can it get any weirder?
Well,
Mine does have like a weird, like Sweeney Todd kind of vibe about
Yeah.
him somehow.
Yeah. It's Sweeney Todd Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I just like we've already mentioned in this stream that it's very situational and it's very very specific styles, but there are certain circumstances under which Chibi's not great with eyes, and they drew this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The most.
Easily the
I
most
did say I
emotional eye.
wasn't sad very much wrong.
Yeah, it's
I mean, to be fair, these eyes are upsetting in a different way than what usually
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. There are many ways to make eyes upsetting.
definitely. This
Humans
is
are-
one of them.
Yes.
Is this-
Somehow, the eyes, the expression is so good. I had to zoom in and really study this to see how big the mouth is.
It's really big. I didn't I didn't think I could make it work, but I'm actually kind of proud of the way I did.
Really good.
God,
And that mouth
Chris,
is
your
so
explosion
upturned
was
and I didn't even
horrifying.
notice it.
This is
Chris is just like, off to get murdered.
Chris was doing a slow zoom on stream, and it was
Is-
just horrifying to look
it-
at.
Yay.
Is this better? Slightly off.
Oh, that's so cute. Just a little smiley face.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
God looks angry up close. Well, short of doing 2 more zoom-ins, I would say we made some characters.
We sure did.
Yep.
Technically, yes.
Some of which have backstories, some of which have criminal records.
Some have both.
Yeah.
Some of their backstories involve other characters' criminal records.
Yes. Some of them involve being a consequence of the other character's criminal record. Yeah. So thanks for Stram. Thanks for doing character stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
God, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good time. Yeah. So that's it for the stream. I will be back on Tuesday. Oh, we're doing that. No, all layers. We forgot. I forgot.
Yee.
And now we turn on all the layers.
All the there's my horrible cat.
There was definitely Maroon 5.
Meow.
That's the two most horrific drawings together.
Yeah.
Something
It looks
nobody
like my
asked
cat
for.
is trying to shield everyone.
Yeah. Don't look. Don't look.
Take the bullet.
Turn away
Also
before
looks
it's too
like
late.
Ragdoll's little character is petting Ragdoll's cat. Like, kinda.
No. Also, the bun on my character matches perfectly with the head of yours, Chibi.
That's impressive.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's now that's the stream.
That's the
Um,
stream.
That's the stream. Yeah. So we'll be back on Tuesday, the day of Jews, because that's everybody has to get some nice sweets and chew them.
Oh, I thought choosing day.
Oh right, okay. No,
You have to
it's
choose something.
okay. I'm gonna
Someone.
choose it to be Saturday. No, we've got 16 symbols. We're carrying on with that. Some stuff's happening. I can't remember what it is.
What?
Plots. Oh, we're in a shrine.
We're-
You've been
yeah,
arrested.
Yeah,
We're
we got
falling
captured
into
by
the-
poisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found the secret poisoner's lab, got some exposition, and now we're falling into the even more secret shrimp lab, and fighting shadow versions of, I guess, as
Oh,
many
I forgot about
characters as
that.
we want.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we're
so there
like
was
the torpedo shrimp.
there was a boss symbol, so there was Shadow Brad, and then there was a boss rush symbol. So
Yay.
basically, you guys get to design shadow versions of as many characters as you like.
I very briefly looked over the code that I wrote to generate the stories, because I had to make something similar for Dark, some sort of picture manipulation program, so that he didn't have to be up till 2 a.m. an entire week manipulating some stuff. But I happened to see, as I was scrolling through it, that I put in a clause that there were no boss rushes in the first half of the game, and I'm like, I'm glad for that. But at the same time, that means there's more in the second half. And that's annoying.
And also, we had a few places where we had a boss and then another boss.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But I think I set it up so that you couldn't have 2 or 3 consecutive bosses of the same type necessarily. So it doesn't make sense to have 3 unrelated bosses. We've had 2 before, but you couldn't have 3 because that's basically a boss rush. So I did set that up as well. There's a bit of logic going on behind the scene, but not enough for it to make sense. So
That's the sense of-
Editing. That's what
Editing.
the editing is for.
yay.
Yay.
We will have several streams where we actually go back and strip the story down and work out what's going on. Maybe we can do it on one of these streams, and we can doodle things from the series. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. So we got that 16 symbols on Tuesday. No stream on Wednesday, but we will. I'll probably be in Discord, hanging out, doing Dark Souls or something. Because apparently Miss didn't know there was magic in that game. So I'm going to show off how broken magic is. I tested it out. I killed the last boss in 2 hits. It's great. It's brilliant. That's why I don't use it.
Whoops.
It's not fun. It's fun the first time. But yeah, anyway. So I'll probably be hanging out in Discord doing that. Remember, the reason there's a boycott going on Wednesday is to raise awareness to Twitch, at the very least, that they've got a problem with hate raids. And that, hey, maybe you should do something about that. I don't know. Yeah. But other than that, have a great week, everybody.
Yeah.
I will now end the stream. Goodbye. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
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 Bye.